So now we're going to look at adding conversion tracking to the website. This is a way that Google has to track any of those valuable actions that users can take in your site, like making a purchase or becoming a lead, submitting an email contact form, or downloading maybe a white paper. Any kind of valuable actions that can occur in your site, we're able to track using Google Analytics or Google Ads. So let's look at setting up conversion tracking in Google Ads. Open the Tools menu here. We have our conversions. Okay, so we've no conversion set up yet, so we're going to set up some conversions. So the first thing to do would be to add a conversion. We're then presented with options here. The first would be a valuable action that someone takes in your website, like a purchase or becoming a lead. The next one is downloads and installs of your app. The next one will be phone calls, calls to your call center, or indeed you can import goals or conversions from another system, including Google Analytics. So if you want to import goals from Google Analytics, this is where you do it. Let's look at setting up some website tracking. So we click this. Then we have to enter a name for our conversion. So let's call it purchase. We have to select a category. We've got a purchase sale, a sign up to a newsletter, for example, becoming a lead, views of a key page, or another type of conversion. We're going to choose purchase sale. Then we can assign a value to the conversion. So if we were, say for example, Netflix, and it's $9.99 per month, we know that every single purchase of Netflix is $9.99, so we can use the same value for each conversion. We're also able to use different values for conversions, but that requires additional code setup or indeed a link to Google Tag Manager and something in the data layer. It can be complicated to do. If you do want to do it, ask your developer, or if you just want to track the conversion itself without any value, you can do not use a value. For leads and for sign-ups, etc., and for some purchases, we may just want to actually just track the purchase rather than the value. We can see the value in Google Analytics or import it from Google Analytics, and the revenue will come in if it's an e-commerce site. So for this one, we're just not going to assign a value for the moment, and that's fine. We just want to track when it happens, and we can track every single conversion, or we can track them unique conversions. So generally I would move towards the track one conversion, so you're only tracking the unique purchases. So if you have an e-commerce site, will track every single product that's added to your basket, and maybe if you come back, and it can really over report, whereas one is a far more effective way of ensuring that you're just tracking single unique conversions, which is what we're most interested in, rather than multiple items in a basket. Then our window is how long that we want to wait for between the first click and the purchase to happen to count it as a conversion. Broadly, a 30-day window is fine. Then view through conversions are 1 day. So a view through conversion is when someone sees your search ad or your display ad, because remember, we can run both search and display through Google Ads. They see your ad but they didn't click and they converted via another channel. So a 1 day window is fine for view through conversions. Include it in the conversions metric, yes, and then we can choose our attribution model. We have a number of options here. We have data driven. Once we have enough information, we can choose data driven. That's where Google assigns different credit levels to a conversion based on the interaction between different keywords. We do need to be live for a while to use data driven attribution. It's just interesting to see the different ecosystem changes within a Google Ads account when we use data-driven attribution. When our account and our campaign is live for a while, this becomes available. Default is last click. That means that the click before the conversion gets all of the credit. First click is the opposite. So the first click in the journey gets all the credit. Linear is every single click in the journey gets an equal piece of the credit. Time decay means that more credit is given to the clicks that happen closer to the conversion itself. And then position based is 40% of the credit for the first click and the last click, and then distributing 20% of the remainder amongst the other clicks. We'll choose the default option, which is last click, and we'll create and continue. We're then presented with options here, so we can use Google Tag Manager, we can email the tag to our developer, or we can install the tag ourselves. For this instance, we'll just install the tag ourselves. It's a HTML tag, and we put this global tag on every page to ensure that everything is being tracked, remarketing lists, everything. And then once that is being tracked, we're able to track conversions using this snippet, which is our conversion snippet. And this only is put on the thank you page for a page load. And if we want to install an event, we will put it in a click. But for most, the thank you page will be fine to install this. But just remember, you do need to install the global site tag on every single page of your website in order for us to track conversions effectively. And then we hit next, and then we're done. So there's our conversion there, and over our date range we'll be able to see the number of conversions that happen in there. Once we get one single hit on the thank you page, conversion page, this becomes verified. Just a word on conversion tracking. When you are using Google Analytics to track your goals, that's a single system, and if you're tracking all of your goals in Google Analytics, it's better to import goals from Google Analytics into Google Ads, because Google Analytics acts as a single source of truth and can report differently to the conversion tracking within Google Ads itself. So a recommendation is to use Google Analytics tracking imported into Google Ads rather than setting up a HTML tag. If you don't have Google Analytics goals set up on your site, you can use the HTML tag method we just explained there. And that is how you track conversions in Google Ads.